It seems incredible to say because he hasn't been there for very long, but is Nathan Jones under pressure at Southampton? It was not the best result of the weekend, a 3-0 defeat against Brentford. So what is going on there at the moment?
I think it's safe to say all Premier League managers are under pressure. You're a couple of defeats away from being under real pressure. And it's safe to say that Nathan Jones' tenure at Southampton hasn't really gone to plan. I think most fans in football were surprised when the ownership group decided to go with Nathan Jones to replace Ralph Hasenhüttl in November. There was a kind of long bubbling process where we were expecting Ralph to be shown the door for a number of weeks and months before it actually got done. And then less than 24 hours after Ralph had been sacked, that man was on the verge of becoming the new Southampton boss. Recent form hasn't been good. He's had 13 games, won just 5, lost 8. But significantly, 2 of those 5 wins were against Lincoln and Blackpool in cup competition. But it's 5 defeats in 6 matches in the Premier League that is causing an alarm for Southampton fans who, let's be honest, have been a little bit frustrated with the style of football, the direction of travel for the football club, the appointment of Nathan Jones. Things really haven't gone to plan, so it's going to be an interesting next few days and weeks. Some media have been reporting that the club have had a board meeting in the last 24 hours to discuss the future of Nathan Jones. As things stand, they're standing by their man. OK, now this is interesting, because here's what he had to say about his success at Luton following that defeat on Saturday at Brentford.
I've compromised in terms of certain principles because of 1, personnel, but 2, the way that people want to play and so on, and I've compromised because fans and so on. Compromised on a few little things, to be honest with you, but no more. Because at the end of the day, I've been very successful, and I've been very successful playing a real fluent style, and then tried to implement that at Stoke, and it didn't because of certain things. Then I came back to Luton. We were a real aggressive, front-footed side. Statistically, there weren't many better than me around Europe in terms for aggression, clean sheets, defending your box, balls in the box, XG, all those things. We were pound for pound the best because we were spending next to nothing and producing so much. And I've gone away from that because maybe it's Premier League, because of how things look, because of certain players and internationals and stuff like that. But no more, because at the end of the day, I've had to compromise certain things, and I'm not doing that again.
Pound for pound, the best at Luton. Really fascinating comments. It's not very often you see a manager come out with fighting talk like that in a press conference. It's safe to say Nathan Jones is a manager that wears his heart on his sleeve. You watch him during the course of matches. He kicks, thumps, heads every single ball, and he gives everything to the football club that he's working with. In terms of Luton, hugely successful. He took them from League 2 to League 1. When he came back in the Championship, he made them punch above their weight. Let's look at some of the numbers, Rob, that he mentioned in that press conference there, because this is what we've looked at in terms of the stats. So Luton's XG per game is 1.32, so over a goal a game is the expectation. And it's important to point out this is since the start of last season to November the 10th, when he managed his last Luton Town match. That was the Championship's 5th rank. So not the best, but they ranked in terms of XG as 5th in the division. Passes into the box per game, 31 and a bit. That was the 4th best in the Championship. And clean sheets as well, perhaps where Nathan Jones was at his strongest defensively, 27 clean sheets, which was second in the Championship. So whilst he had a front-footed Luton Town side that were giving him everything they possibly could, it's not the same at Southampton. And it's going to be interesting and fascinating to see how this plays out. Something to point out as well is that the ownership group are having a fans forum tonight where they will be meeting the fans. You know that the #1 thing on the agenda is going to be this man, Nathan Jones, and his future.
Yeah, and then having heard what he said, pound for pound, actually, because their budget at Luton, most probably, out of the 24 teams there, was most probably 25th, wasn't it? So I hear what he was saying. Right, so that fans forum, if results don't change, surely they can't think about changing again this season, the man in charge?
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens, because Sport Republic, who own 80% of Southampton Football Club, made disappointment, made the decision to get rid of Ralph Hasenhüttl, and essentially it was Rasmus Ankerson's decision to replace Ralph with Nathan Jones. He's one of the people that's going to be on the top table tonight for the Fans Forum, also with Henrik Kraft and Dragan Salak, who isn't going to be there. Martin Semmens will be there. They're the 4 key people at the top of the tree when it comes to making decisions at Southampton. So will Rasmus Ankerson turn around and get rid of Nathan Jones, who he was the man that was influential in appointing Nathan Jones? It's almost like admitting, I've made a mistake here. I thought he was the right man. He wasn't the right man. We're going to make a change. I think that Southampton are under huge pressure from the fan base who want to see changes made. I think the next game or the next 2 games could be absolutely crucial.